So this is like, we're into this one now.
I made a note for myself here. Asterisk, need pen and paper to note theory, beers, Mandela, cups, and presents. Oh. Presents?
Our presents are required. Yeah.
I'm present.
Okay, so do we have pens?
Pens?
Check.
Yeah, which we can make with the pens.
Paper?
Check.
Check. Do we have beers?
Do we have beers?
Did you bring the beer?
Where are the beers at?
Check.
When the beers are not on screen, everybody else should be asking, where's the beers? Ooh.
And I'm going to hold tight on the presents part, but you guys just wait. You guys just hang tight. And first...
Well, what are we going to do? Just look at these beers?
Yeah. Well, let's... That's not going to open itself and drink itself.
Beer ain't going to open itself.
It's calling my name.
Just pull on it. Pull. Pull. It's a conspiracy.
That's the sound of happiness.
Oh, look at the color on that bad mama.
Rosy.
It is rosé. Oh. It's a rosé.
Can of rosé.
Have you ever had canned wine?
No.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah.
I've had like small bottles of champagne on a flight.
Yeah. No,
I've had that. But I would have canned wine. Why not?
It's odd. When my wife and I were in France, first of all, we went into this wine bar, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll have a glass of your," and the guy like walked over to like what I assumed were beer taps, and he put a wine glass under it, and he like pulled down the thing, and wine came out.
A wine tap.
He's like, we have a keg of wine in the back, and I'm like, that's amazing. And then we went to the next place.
Hey, why not?
Yeah, I know. Let's leave the jokes to the expert here.
But this is funny.
Yeah, no, it is funny. Yeah, it's good stuff. Why not? We went to the next place, had another wine, and I ordered it off the menu, and I'm like, I wonder if it's going to be in a keg again. What's going to happen? And the guy brought out like a little tiny can and opened it up like, here you go. Boop. And it was a little tiny can of wine, and it was amazing.
Was it good?
It was so good. Yeah. I mean, their garbage wine there is amazing.
They have
that's true.
Wine juice boxes.
Yeah.
Tetra Packs.
In Italy or something.
Oh man. And the wine, you think of wine in a box isn't the most classy thing in Canada, but wine in a box is
why not?
Yeah. Why not? That's a good.
It's my wine in a box.
Wine in a box. Step one. You put the wine in the box.
Okay, so we have our beers. Check. Speaking of chuckle jokes here, two ladies walk into a bar, and the bartender says, are you two ladies from Scotland? And one of the ladies says, Wales, you idiot. And the barman replies, oh, sorry, are you two whales from Scotland?
Yeah, I knew exactly
that was that's when you know that we've been doing
whales.
This. Yeah, the minute we can start,
That was one of your more clever ones.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're finishing each other's
whales
sentences.
Thanks.
Drinks.
Well, let's get started. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew. I don't claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and will probably be wrong about everything as usual because I'm an idiot. We're going to talk about this later on, but we're kind of idiots. That's sort of our thing, like.
Yeah, for yourself.
Well, I
can read.
You can read. I can look at the pictures and the bubbles and sticks make the words.
And I do the writing. Yeah. So we're a team.
We're a team. Yeah, team of friends. If you'd like to see where we dug up whatever gobbledygook we're going to discuss today, then please check out the resources in the episode description. Charlie works long and thanklessly on that on his typewriter before sending the parchment by carrier pigeon into the night.
And wax is not cheap. You got to seal them bitches somehow.
Yeah. You got a big stamp. Just carry it, my feathered friend of the sky. Joining me, as always, are my beautiful, very attractive. You're both very, very attractive.
Thank you.
Co-host Gregory the Gorgeous and Charles the Charming. These spicy peppers will be presented with a few selected theories, and we'll interject as they see fit. Now, gentlemen, can you, speaking of jokes, can you answer me this question? What do you call a can opener that won't work?
What?
A can't opener.
A can't opener. Oh, I knew it. Come on.
That's a good one, though.
If you would like to keep up to date on what we're up to here at It's a Conspiracy, then please check out our website, itsaconspiracypodcast.com, where you can find links to our Twitter, that's run by the Irish Madman, Facebook, Instagram, email, and our Patreon page, patreon.com/It's a Conspiracy. And we have 2 puppies, Kylo and Ren, and they are only fed by the Patreon money. That sounds funny, but that's probably a little criminal.
Yeah. Why are you feeding dogs money?
Oh, well, that's what they eat. They're those kind of special money puppies.
Only thing they want.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, Ren has no nose. So, how does he smell?
Terrible.
Knocking him down just left and right. This here is our 12th episode of season 1. And it's coming out, actually, that's the cool thing. It's coming out on Canada Day.
I think it's pronounced Canada Day.
Canada Day. And that's super, super cool. So in our, when we start each episode off, we've been like, we like conspiracy theories, and we like alternative accounts, and we like legends and myths and more, blah, blah, blah.
On the beach.
And we like holding hands with each other. And now the thing is that Canada Day is a bit of a loaded subject for a lot of people. So like a lot of countries that are sort of like built on colonial ideas, there's this indigenous population that are like, yeah, it's like the happy came and killed us all and took over day. But we're going to just point this out real quick. We record our podcast in Edmonton, Alberta, and we are happy to acknowledge that we are located on Treaty 6 territory. And these lands are a traditional gathering place for diverse indigenous people, including the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, Inuit, and many others whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. So we're going to do one quick episode, or one quick conspiracy.
Real quickie.
A quickie conspiracy. Conspiraquickie to chat about. It's a Canadian one, just in time for Canada Day. And then we're going to do a little rundown of all things season 1. And then we're going to have some presents, which is nice. Charlie, with a yes or no, can you tell me if you've heard of this one theory? The money pit of Oak Island.
Deja vu. I'm going to say no.
Okay. Now, before we get started on that, though, I believe we have a special word from our sponsors, the good people at Scream Tech.
Friends, are you tired of having to go to the local big box store to replenish your nourishing knowledge of the unknown? Ooh, then the good people at Scream Tech have just the thing for you. Now you can grow your own theories with conspiracies. That's right, conspiracies are a fun and easy way to get you the fresh homegrown theories that your human body mind craves. Just follow the easy to read earth words on the packaging for best results. Step 1, plant conspiracies. Step 2, water with the fresh liquids that the material planet has provided you, but be careful to shelter seeds from the liquids of a harmful nature, such as rains containing acid or cold hard evidence. Step 3, reap the benefits of a fresh crop free from government-modified opinions or GMOs. It's helpful to talk to your new plant overlord friends as they grow to encourage their prosperity. They respond best to confessions of wrongdoing either by you, your loved ones, even your neighbors. No secret shame is too juicy to plump these plants. As a matter of fact, there is no evidence of conspiracies ever not working, which science argue proves their validity. It's never too late in the season to plant these bad boys. Hey, does anyone else have a bleeding nose? That's conspiracies from Scream Tech. Back to you, Andy.
Well, thank you very much. Let's get started on subject 1, the money pit of Oak Island. Now, our co-host, Greg, is a hybrid Canadian who is partly salty Atlantic sea dog.
And part machine.
And part machine and part Alberta chuck wagon, pick 'em up, truck driver, rodeo, stampede. Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't. So this is not a strange combination, really. Like you're. I mean, like if outside of this country, if you were from London but you grew up in Moscow, and that's about the distance we're talking here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of kilometers. So it would basically be like that, except you'd be like raised by werewolves in caves and forced to bare knuckle box with the village wives in order to get a blanket at night.
That's pretty much how
That's
it
what I
was,
heard. Yeah,
Yep.
just growing up on the shores.
Give me back my binky.
Yeah. Listen, Darlene, I want that binky right now. Or whap! One of our Atlantic provinces, and this isn't where Greg is from. Which province are you from?
New Brunswick.
Atlantis.
New Brunswick.
Oh,
I was born in Alberta, but grew up in New Brunswick.
Grew up in New Brunswick in Moncton.
Moncton.
Yeah. And New Brunswick is close to Nova Scotia.
Yeah, they're neighbors.
Okay. They're neighbors. Yeah, and Nova Scotia is Latin for
New Scotland.
New Scotland. And our super awesome Canadian conspiracy for today comes from there. Yeah, that's
so smooth.
that really felt okay.
Yeah, that took a lot of
Comes from there.
Cometh from there. Now, located off the shores of the province of Nova Scotia is a tiny little island called a wee little island. Thank you. Yeah, a wee little rocky island called Oak Island. And it is allegedly the burial site of one of the greatest unclaimed treasures known to man. Here's the rundown.
You tell.
Around 1795, a young boy named Daniel McGinnis. Danny McGinn. He was wandering around as a young lad is prone to do around Oak Island when he saw a foreign object hanging from a tree. The accounts vary, but the most agreed upon object he saw now is considered to be a block and tackle. Now, we've discussed this before, but
tackle.
what is a block and tackle? Outside of football?
Football.
I believe it's a pulley system of some
pulleys?
sort.
A pulley system. Okay. Do you learn about this stuff in school? Do they like...
Just
Well,
today.
the last time I was, coal mining, that was really big, but it's really never ever come up in everyday life.
Just like the quadratic equation.
I just got this image of you with like the dwarves in Snow White just like plumbing around and just hi ho. Okay, so when Wee Din McGinn got closer, he saw that the ground around the tree was strangely depressed, as if the area had been dug up. I know it's
Tried to
sad,
cheer it up.
and he thought by cheering it up, he would put a shovel in the ground and find that maybe, perhaps, treasure had been buried there.
Tough love.
Locals in the area had long known that Oak Island and the Maritimes, the Atlantic Canada in general, had been the stop-off point for some bloody pirates in the 17th and 18th centuries. And that's mainly due to the small number of European colonies in Atlantic Canada at the time, the distance from the European continent, abundant supplies, easy places to disappear, perfect spots to bury treasure, and the proximity to the extremely busy port city of Boston. Yeah, about 200 miles from Oak Island. Boston. And every time I think of
band.
Boston, I'm like, yeah, good band,
Yeah, more than a feeling.
but also the Departed. I'm like, oh, let's just talk about the Departed for a minute.
As long as we're not talking about Matt Damon.
He's the best part of that movie. We talk about this every
He's
time.
not.
He's the best part.
Alec Baldwin's the best part.
Alec Baldwin is amazing in that movie.
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, he's got a big face. He's got a real big face. Okay.
All the
That's
Baldwin
why they
brothers-
call him Big
Have you-
Face
have you
Baldwin.
seen
Yeah, Big
all-
Face Baldwin.
Have you seen all the Baldwin brothers? They all have big faces.
They're getting bigger. Yeah. He used to be like but just he's getting a real big face.
He was Jack Ryan at one time.
Yeah, man. He's who I remember as being Jack Ryan.
OG
The
Jack
Hunt for
Ryan.
Red
Yeah.
October or something.
Yeah, and I guess him and Harrison Ford have a real strained relationship because of that. Yeah, I should include something in the episode description about that because there's some hilarious interview with Alec Baldwin where they're like, what do you think of Harrison Ford? And he's like, he's a tiny little piece of shit that sounds like he's talking behind a curtain and with a little voice, and I hate that guy or something like that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And it's the weirdest burn, and you're just like,
What do you think he means by that?
I have no idea. What does it mean?
I think he probably means that Harrison Ford just smokes too much weed.
He's high all the time. Oh, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh,
but
that's amazing.
I'm like, yeah, in
You know
those
what?
like
Harrison
Indiana
Ford,
Jones movies,
he's earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. They're like, here's a big bag of doobies. Just walk out and cut that bridge rope in half and try not to die. We'll give you some more doobies when you get
These
back.
monkey brains.
Now and 200 miles from Oak Island, Boston. That's a very, very, very close distance. The next day, Daniel and 2 friends came back with their shovels. They started digging in hopes that they would find whatever was buried there. So right off the bat, around 2 feet down, the boys found a large wooden plank and quickly pulled it up, thinking, treasure!
We got it.
And nothing was underneath. But it confirmed that they were onto something, so they continued digging. Soon, they stumbled upon a natural cone shape and noticed that there were several pickaxe marks on the rocks and clay on the sides of the tunnel, confirming to them that someone had dug up this area before. Something had been in there before. Around 10 feet down, they came across a wide wooden floor consisting of several planks. And they're like, it's the treasure! We've got it now! And they were convinced they'd found a treasure, but they pulled it up and there was just more dirt. So, yeah. They continued to dig. And they struck yet another wooden floor at 20 feet.
Diggy.
And they decided that, okay, that's enough. There was nothing under that floor. So they were going to come back with more supplies, more people, and proper equipment. By the end of that, they would have been, 20 feet down in the ground for a bunch of kids.
20 feet under.
That is quite a distance.
How'd they get out of that hole?
Yeah, man. Well, they had like ropes
day
and stuff.
one.
Day one, 20 feet down. Yeah. Holy. Holy, yeah, okay. Wow. That one just whizzed past. It's so natural now, I don't even think about it. Sadly, their return just a few weeks later only resulted in a whole lot more digging, and they just found one more floor a couple feet down, and they're like, well, there's nothing here, just a bunch of floors. Years later, one of the friends of McGinnis had purchased the official salvage rights to the land and had enlisted a crew of digging experts. This would be the early 1800s by this point. A crew of digging experts to get down into what had become known as the Money Pit. Locally, they called it the Money Pit. And they were like, let's get down there, see what we can find. Just like before, they came across thick wooden paneling around every 10 feet, but they noticed growing oddities like a strange, sappy substance sealing the floor. And the obvious use of coconut husks in the construction of the floor. Now, Charlie, are coconuts, where
are you going to get husks around there? Maybe at Trader Joe's.
Exactly, right? Not a lot of coconuts grown in, I don't know. Are there a lot of coconuts growing in Atlantic Canada?
I've never seen them.
Yeah, okay. Not a lot of New Brunswickian coconuts?
I think it's New Brunswicker.
The New Brunswicker? Okay.
I don't know, actually. No one's ever asked me that.
A Brunswickian?
New Brunswickian?
Yeah, a Kian.
Either way, there's no coconuts growing in the East Coast.
Okay, none at all. You heard it here.
That's right.
Exclusive.
Breaking news. Hot take.
Sorry to disappoint anyone, but yeah. Finally, at a depth of 90 feet, that is really far, there was a discovery. They found a large stone slab covered in strange inscriptions. The crew had the slab taken out of the pit, and nobody around could interpret what it said. And it ended up being used as a decoration, a fireback, which I think is part of a fireplace. The hearthstone. The hearthstone. And a doorstop for a bookstore.
A doorstop.
I know.
That's
and
ridiculous.
Then a window ornament in a restaurant. And then there was a guy, an academic, it says, someone who apparently worked at
learned type.
A learned type. He worked at the university in Halifax. And he saw that, and he was like, where did this come from? I need to know now. Tell me who, where. And he just grabbed the first person and slapped them until they were like, oh,
what day is this?
Pit. Yeah. Give me a fine fat goose.
You boy on the street.
Let me go. I'll tell my parents. The Halifax academic claimed the symbols translated to, for a good time, you just want to dial.
555.
Yeah. No, he said the Halifax academic claimed the symbols translated to 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. Now, here's a recreation of what now bear that in mind, recreation of what the stone slab actually looked like. Stone slab.
Ooh.
Yep. Stone slab.
So slabby.
Some ruins.
Yep.
And
some runes. You're right.
Some Christian symbols as well.
There is, and not just runes are also indicative of like pre-Christian stuff. And there's a lot of because who was alleged to have been in Atlantic Canada before any Like
The Vikings.
the Vikings. That's right.
The Vikings.
The Vikings. They're like,
We'll just put it in front of the door and it's heavy.
they dug it up out of that place where all
got
the
writing
money
on it.
was, but
Yeah.
let's put it in the fireplace.
says-
It's got writing on it. It's probably good luck.
Yeah. The discovery did two things. It confirmed that number one, there was treasure. This would be approximately 130 feet, but because they were down 90 feet when they found the slab, and the slab was like 40 feet below. So that's 130 feet. That's really far down.
So close.
And then the second thing they confirmed was that the system of measurement used dictated, that's Charlie's favorite word, that it was likely someone of English origin. A bloody Brit. And the most famous, thus most likely candidate for that was the illustrious Captain Kidd.
Dar, I've got some customers.
Captain Kidd.
Who was in fact a real pirate, Yar, and he Yar he was,
Yar.
And he did some real scary pirate stuff, and he hung out in Nova Scotia quite often
And hosted a kids show.
Yeah, the kids' party.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
What?
Is it R?
Oh, you think it would be R, but it's actually C.
Oh, he loves the sea. Oh, that's good.
Gotcha.
The frothy sea. Yeah, and actually, speaking of Captain Kidd, he met a real nasty end, and we'll put that in the episode description. I don't want to give it away, but there's a great little write-up on that, and he had real bad stuff happen to him. Interesting guy. And I'm not kidding. The team returned to the well confident that was their first mistake, that they would have their treasure immediately, and at around 100 feet came across a metal slab that sounded like the covering of a vault, and it sounded hollow when the men jumped on top of it because they were so excited. So
jumping up and down.
Just jumping up and down.
Hey,
It's the vault. We're here. Excited, they returned to the surface to rest and make sure that all they were equipped to haul up whatever was inside the vault.
Need more equipment.
And that is when things got a little strange.
Sounds like you're going to be like,
Strange.
when we return to VH1 behind the money pit, we'll tell you how things got that much stranger.
They all went back to their cabin that night. Yeah, never mind. That's not what this meant. When they returned the next day, and they were all like, "We're ready to haul up the treasure. Here we go, a treasuring." They were horrified to see that the hole, almost to the very top, had flooded with water. So they set to trying to bail out the water immediately. But this was a huge effort that would take a huge amount of time. Like right at the top, it was one thing, but once you get like 90 feet down,
How
you're
do you
like,
get the water up?
You gotta take it up by buckets and ropes.
Give it a good toss.
Yeah, so
Just drink it.
Took forever. Get some real thirsty people in there. And then while they were doing this, they were trying to take certain precautions to make sure the hole didn't flood again. They're like, I don't know what happened, but they did whatever these professional diggers do. Yeah.
This is why we're not professional diggers.
We're not diggers. We don't know what we're doing.
don't know what they do.
No idea.
I couldn't dig 130 feet. Holy man. The supplies in the hole that they had left down there had been destroyed by the flooding, so they had to get re-equipped again.
Just wrecked.
When they returned again, they were horrified to see that, again, hilariously, the hole had filled up with water. And they're like, where's the water coming
When
from?
I catch you kids.
And it appeared that the hole was, this is great. It was an elaborate booby trap. Hey, my favorite kind of trap. But it was set up to flood at a certain point. The diggers weren't sure what was happening, and they would take out all the water, and then they'd be like, oh, we're exhausted. And then they'd come back and the hole was full of water again. So the operation was called off after a number of attempts and the death of one of the excavators.
Oh, then it got sad.
Yeah, I know. Totally sad. Yeah. So he died. Coming up, something dropped on him. And we're going to come back to this, but there's something coming up here, and you have to die in the pit. There's something coming.
In the pit.
You got to die in the pit.
Oh, no.
Now, since then, Charlie, what year is it?
Right now?
Yeah.
2015.
Okay. And we started in 1795.
Yeah.
Okay. So fire up your lizard robot
come on,
brain.
Was it like 200?
224?
I think it's more like 290 something.
Have we got a Doogie Howser on our hands here? I feel like that's 718 years.
It's got to be 224 years.
Okay.
I don't know. Just throw
No,
out
you
numbers.
went Price is
Ballpark.
Right. You went
throw out
you
numbers out
Ballpark
there.
estimate.
Just throw
Ballpark
numbers out
estimate.
there.
Yeah. Give or take.
Now, since then, for 224 years, this flooding system has been the bane.
Oh.
Oh, thank you so much for catching that. Oh, okay.
It goes plank, 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 prank.
I gotta point this out, man. That is a bang on impression, but that could also be your Captain
that's
Picard
my Captain
voice.
Picard.
Yeah, that is hilarious that you're Captain Picard
It's
and Bane.
also my Winnie the Pooh voice. It was a blustery day in the 100-acre wood. Christopher Robin has been...
Oh, bless your heart. That just makes me smile. Okay, now
Oh, bother.
that's been the problem that all the treasure hunters have faced on Oak Island this whole time. So there have been hundreds, if not thousands.
And that's no oak.
They're not oaking around. There have been hundreds, if not thousands, of excavations conducted by people from all over the world. The rights have been sold, resold. There have been odd discoveries, strange clues, bizarre religious pre-Christian paraphernalia, which kind of suggests like the runes and the Vikings.
The
Mm.
So you say paraphernalia, so was it like pipes?
No, they found like weird. They thought it was like a ruby amulet, and it turned out to be garnet. Like, who
turned out
cares?
to be
They're
a
just
pipe.
like,
Yeah.
garnet. Let's get rid of that. But it was clearly like forged by man. And they're like, this doesn't have any business being in the ground here. And then they found some weird like little like the loopy skulls and the fish that indicate like early Christianity and some other stuff there. But there were people there. That doesn't mean that that's part of the treasure. Right. I know that's opinion time, but there were people there for a really, really long time.
Sure.
Anyways, so fortunes made, fortunes spent, tourism gained, blood, murder, betrayal, and the legend only got stronger with each explorer thinking that they would be the one to figure out
This time for sure.
the mystery.
Until they died.
Yeah. Now, Greg, had you heard of the Money Pit before?
Yeah, it's a great it's a show game or something. Game show.
There's a reality show called The Curse of Oak Island on the History Channel. That's like
it's got like 7 seasons.
7 seasons.
That's a lot of history.
Yeah, and there's a couple guys. It kind of is a bit of a repetitive show because they're like, we're going out to the beach and we're going to dig something up.
Oh yeah, man! The first season was the first episode, just repeated and
then they're like, "There's water in the hole
shown in
again."
A different montage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeff, there's water in the hole again.
It's
Get it out of there.
and this has been the serious problem. Like even with modern techniques, they cannot figure out what's going on there. Now, thoughts on what is buried there range from the lost jewels of Marie Antoinette, a hoard of gold from King Solomon stolen by the Knights Templar, British treasure stolen during the War of Independence, the Holy Grail, a sunken Viking war vessel, the tomb of Jesus himself, the tomb of Jesus's children themselves. That's kind of creepy. Just a bunch of kids buried down there.
They're all buried together. It's a family plot.
Just one. And the tomb of Jesus's wife,
See?
a Mary Magdalene.
Family plot. You save money that way.
Yeah, man.
That just sounds scary. Just a tiny little coffins with, Shakespeare's, this is a little less climactic. Shakespeare's original manuscript.
Wait.
Yeah.
It's going to get all wet.
It's going to get all wet unless it's in some kind of watertight container. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, they got Tupperware back then?
I guess so. And perhaps most extravagant, the Nazi face melting Ark of the Covenant.
Nope.
Or maybe just
way.
a whole bunch of gold.
Nope.
Now, you sound pretty convinced that the Ark of the Covenant is not
that's
in
safe.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, that's safe. Indiana
it's
Jones.
right, sorry, it's in the
Indiana
warehouse,
Jones put that
yeah.
in the warehouse. That's fine.
It's
Indiana Jones didn't put it
Those
in the
documentaries.
no, the other guy did. Yeah, he didn't know where it
warehouse. Some
went.
warehouse guy.
And it's
Warehouse
not just
guy.
any warehouse. If you've been in a Costco, it's clearly a Costco.
It's a Costco
That's-
warehouse.
yeah.
It's right next to the Kirkland brand fries.
Yeah.
It is said that there is a curse on the island and that 7 men will die before the treasure is discovered. So far, there have
What's the
been
body count?
well, there have been 6 fatalities.
Just kill somebody else.
I know.
then.
And there's that really nice old guy on the show. Just kick him into the hole, and he can be the 7th.
I'm not saying you guys should just commit murder. We can't incite that out loud.
Yeah,
That's
no, we
actually a
probably
really
shouldn't
bad
say
thing.
that.
That's not good.
But if somebody slips and falls one way and you never see him
Look,
again,
look.
then,
Accidents,
things happen.
accidents happen when you're playing around holes.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally. It would be a little mean if they were like, he's like, oh, I thought we were just going for a walk, and like, you're getting down in the pit. This is Sparta. And he just kicks him in there. And,
Let's recreate 300.
Tell my wife I love her.
If like memory serves correct, like the holes actually aren't that big.
I don't think they're like giant. Like
No. I think they're probably like maybe a semi-rotund person's around.
Semi-rotund.
So you're saying someone like, say, Winnie the Pooh could get caught in one of them when he's searching for honey
Yeah, I think so. I could see it happening.
to bring it back around?
But yeah, that is the money pit of Nova Scotia. I guess we can just jump right into our thoughts on this. I don't know.
Just get-
Yeah, Greg, you're probably the most familiar with this. Like, what do you think this is a thing?
Heck no, I think it's a prank.
It's a prank? Okay.
Prank.
The old prank.
The
Yeah.
old plank.
Plank, plank, plank,
Okay.
plank.
Like
It's
prank
like-
is in like an elaborate booby trap or
Okay, they obviously found something. There's all those like layers of wood or whatever, but nobody can actually confirm that because where's all this wood now?
yeah, and that stone slab is a recreation.
Exactly.
So
it's all
the
just,
original one.
It's all
yeah.
just a story. It's all just an elaborate prank. These guys are wasting their money, but they're bringing a lot of tourism to Nova Scotia, so do it.
Can't let up now.
They might get down to the bottom and find yet another stone slab that's like, hey,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Or maybe a donaire.
The friends you made is the treasure. The relationships on the way down here. I think it's a natural phenomenon. I think it's just a weird thing where it's a bizarre tunnel system, and it's just it is a tiny little island. You dig down far enough, it's got like quicksand kind of thing going on. It just kind of fills up, and that's just the way it is.
There you go.
That's what
It's an island
Yeah.
in the Atlantic Ocean.
exactly. Islands do weird things. It's not connected to the mainland.
Sometimes they disappear.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a home of dead people.
Yeah. Now, Charlie, are there polar bears or coconuts in Nova Scotia, along with the tiny little coffins with the kids?
I mean, possibly.
creepy. I don't even-
Possibly.
Yeah, you keep going there.
Possibly.
sorry, man.
Possibly. Wait, are we talking about Nova Scotia or are we talking about the island of Lost?
No, we're talking about Nova Scotia.
Oh,
we don't
Nova
talk about
Scotia.
Lost on this.
That's for the Lost cast.
That's the Lost cast.
You know what? I mean, who are we to say that there's no gold?
There could
We
be
don't
just a
know.
whole bunch of gold down there. Yeah. If there is a treasure.
We're so close. We're
Yeah.
so close. I know what we're doing for season 2, boys.
Oh,
Going to Oak Island?
let's go to Nova Scotia and get
I'm
some donaires.
Some lobster.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. Okay, now for hey Charlie.
What are we drinking? Today we're drinking Babe Blueberry Vanilla Ale. This is amazing. It's delightful.
Yeah,
It's a great
delicious,
can.
yeah.
Great set of
A
cans.
nice can. Golden ale featuring Fraser Valley blueberries and balanced with a hint of vanilla.
Fraser. Did you say it's?
I'm sorry.
I think it's Fraser.
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 I've just been watching some Fraser.
Yeah.
Frasser.
Yeah.
Frasser Valley.
The Fraser Valley.
Hello, caller. I'm listening.
Yeah, that's a nice can. This is good too.
Nice
it's
can.
a
Although it's weird. I hear the name Babe, and I think a pig in the city. But this is a big blue ox.
But
Yeah.
it's what's his name? That American legend.
Tim Conway?
Bundy. Conway for sure.
Are you? Who's the guy? The axe guy is who you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the axe guy, not
Yeah.
the axe murderer. guy.
Paul Bunyan That's right. He had a giant ox. Yeah, blueberry.
That's right. You're right. Babe was a
Big blue ox, man.
Not just a hog in the city or
big pig in the city.
Now the reason I got this is because did you guys know that Oxford, Nova Scotia is the blueberry capital of Canada? Even above anywhere in British Columbia. I almost said blueberry Columbia.
Blueberryan.
The blueberryan Columbian, Columberry. They, you'd think they would have the market on that, but I guess, Nova Scotia. You don't think of blueberries when you think of the Maritimes.
No, really, no.
Yeah,
We do now.
Yeah, I think of people who like
Changing
I lost
opinions.
my hand and I've got this hook and I'm gonna grab you with it.
You know, pirates?
Yeah, and donaires.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yum.
I know, so good. Okay.
just saying the word donaire makes my mouth a lot.
Oh, dude, it's Yeah, I know. But I've got some receptacles here.
Receptacles.
Okay, so now I just want you guys to, here we go. I'm going to pass out these
Clinky clanky.
things to here.
Clickety clanks.
Okay, now this is just a little token of appreciation.
What do we got?
Oh.
Damn. This has some heft to it.
It's the Get Along Gang
This
Club
is very,
cups.
very nice.
Yeah. Now, do you guys want to explain what you're allegedly seeing?
This is a
This is a chalice of the gods.
It's a Conspiracy official merchandise goblet.
It is.
This is heavy. This is
now,
hefty.
Charlie, do you recognize which website I may have gotten that from?
I think you got that from oldmandesign.com.
Old Man Design. We'll get you sorted.
Someone got you sorted.
Yeah, and I got one too. I got one here, and actually, that reminds me. So Charlie was the winner of our
Rib-off.
the inaugural rib-off, the dad challenge.
Fantastic dad challenge.
So I was gonna get you some red
shit,
breast, but
yeah.
so we're gonna go. Greg had talked about
Instead, we're gonna have
his breakup bourbon, and they didn't have any red breast, so we went with Greg's recommendation.
We're
here.
gonna have to bite the bullet.
Yeah,
it's bullet bourbon.
That's
Yeah, man.
right.
It's a nice
Frontier whiskey.
good Kentucky bourbon.
Now,
Hell yeah.
Now I just can't help but notice we've got this bottle of bourbon here, and we have some,
We have some empty mugs.
some
We have
empty
some
cups.
empty glasses. Wow.
Yeah,
Just our luck.
yeah.
Why don't you let's pop that.
Don't be shy.
Now, why don't we just go ahead and don't bogart that thing, Charlie?
Maybe he needs a little help opening that bad boy.
Easy.
That's what I wanted. Yes, sir.
Great sound.
You know that's quality.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Where your mugs at?
Right in your
Where the
coffee
mugs
cup.
at? Say when?
Just a little for me, thanks. That's lots.
Bueno.
Oh yeah. Thank you, sir.
Delightful. And thank you, gentlemen.
Cheers to our first season and the dad venture.
We made it.
We made it.
Made it.
all the way.
Yay. That's right.
Down into my tummy.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
It's good stuff.
Wow.
Warms the cockles.
That's Frontier
It sure
whiskey.
does.
Even the subcockles.
Oh
Yeah, it's got some bite to it.
yeah, man, that is. I can see now. I'm getting emotional.
see, I can see.
I could just. I'm like, yeah, no, this is.
It made you feel things that you didn't want to feel at the time.
I got a buzzing in my loins.
That's a good over speech, That's a good it makes you feel things you didn't want to feel at the time. It's Bullet Bourbon. Frontier whiskey.
It'll be all right. Just every time you pour it over,
You take
we
me
can hang
home.
out later on.
Take me home and I'll hug you from the inside.
Oh, that's exactly what it feels like.
Good lord. Anywho, here's a rundown of season 1. Now, fillers, we got to do this real quick because we've got a ton of things to get
Got
through
the
here.
whiskey poured out. We're getting all reminiscent over here.
Getting pretty comfy. I'm going to list off the theories we've discussed so far this season, and we'll just run through them all. We'll just give a quick yep, nope, me beep, a yarp, narp, marp, on whether or not you support this theory, as in and
that
let's
what the
not.
paper's for?
Yeah, that's what the papers are for.
Okay.
Perfect.
And when we get to opinion time, I'll ask you to which is the most plause and which is the most ridic.
Plause and ridic.
We are going to give, Greg came up with this award named the Conspeez. So the Conspeez for the most plause and the Conspeez for the most ridic. And then we're going to give a Conspeez for our favorite Mandela Minute and a Conspeez for our favorite beer. Ooh. And those are the beers that we've done since February, I think.
February.
Febby beer. Okay, and we can enjoy these things like friends holding hands.
Like we are.
Yeah, like we always record holding hands.
Yeah.
Pants off, hands on. Okay, so
We're building some IKEA piece of furniture or something.
okay, now episode 1, and I'll just list these off, and you guys just give me like a yep, nope, mep. So episode number 1, flat Earth theory.
Nope.
Okay, that's a big note for me too. Reptile people.
Yes.
Nope.
Nope. Polybius.
Yes.
Maybe.
That's a maybe.
Bitch, please.
Episode 2, World Trade Center 7. That was the building like kind of far away that like collapsed by itself.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay, that's a no from me. The New World Order.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
We're talking about the global organization.
Oh, okay.
WCW.
Not Hollywood Hogan's.
Okay, maybe that,
Look.
maybe.
They're all connected, brother.
And then of course the man, and this one's everywhere. The Paul is dead theory. So the theory that Paul McCartney died in a car accident and was replaced by someone who happened to be as brilliant and looked exactly like him. Yeah, fall.
Bullshit.
Yeah, okay.
Nope.
That's a no from me too. Episode number 3. Oh, here we go. Now here's a joke going from way back. Ancient Aliens with
George Tsoukalos.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
nice.
Aliens.
Okay, and yeah, that's a.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's a maybe.
That's a yes.
Yeah,
That's yes.
okay. The Fukushima, the nuclear reactor that melted down in Japan, Fukushima cover up.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and I believe that too. That definitely was a cover up. They're like, come on back. It's been a year.
Come on back, y'all.
Just come on up. We'll have a good time. And then, of course, Keanu Reeves is an immortal being of love and light.
Maybe.
No, I think that's just good publicity.
Yeah, I think it's a no, too.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that the older he gets, the closer his eyes get together? If you see him now, his eyes
squishing effect.
are just getting closer and closer together. I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe he's just been hanging out with Harrison Ford too much.
Whoa. That's my Keanu impression.
I know. Well, my eyes are so close together. Whoa. And episode number 4, chemtrails.
Maybe.
That's
Sure.
a no.
That's yeah.
Black Knight Satellite.
Heck yes.
Oh, yeah.
Blam.
Just as the name.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a piece of like weird debris up there. It could be. It's possible that we will reach some point in our life and like suddenly aliens, like this thing will pop open, like you've discovered the key of time. Yeah.
Just have to do the right code or play the right piece of music.
Yeah, right at the right time, or we just do something right. Like we're like the whole world switches over to wind and solar, and it just opens up, and it's like, look, love for everyone.
You proceed
Yeah.
to the next level.
You get to go to it's
level
time
2.
to travel
It's
through.
really just a save point.
It's a save point. It could be like a wormhole, like on Deep Space Nine, and it's like come and visit the creators.
We're digressing.
That's right. Sorry. Okay. It's supposed to be okay. The third theory for episode 4 was is Worf actually Kalis the Unforgettable?
That's a yes.
That's a hard yes. Yeah. Okay. Episode number 5. The big theory is: did Charlie actually meet Michael Dorn?
100%.
That's a hard yes.
This right there is the signature.
Yeah, right. Because pictures can't be faked. Okay,
Not
so
back
actually
then.
it was a Malaysian flight MH370. Was that a cover? Was that a conspiracy of some kind? That plane that went missing and still hasn't been found, and nobody knows where it is.
Oh, like being lost?
It like straight up, and then it might have been switched.
2 lost
That's
references.
my
All right.
Yeah.
favorite TV show. Man.
So yeah, and the other one was the conspiracy was Princess Diana murdered?
No.
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 Okay, yeah, and I think she was not. But that's kind of a maybe. There's some weird stuff in there. So I'm not saying yes, it was a conspiracy, but it's like, there's just some weird stuff going on there. Thirdly, the one from this episode was, did bloody Keith Richards have his bloody blood taken out and blood from a bunch of kids put into him to keep him bloody young again? No. Keep him off the bloody smack?
No.
No?
That's a good mythos, but nah.
No.
No, yeah, absolutely not. Episode 7, Attack of the Clones, Greg's favorite Star Wars movie. Now, this is the one where Britney Spears helped the guy, like, who realized he was a clone. Yeah, this one's...
K-Fed.
No. So she died in a car accident, and then her clone came out, and then the clone recorded the song that was like, that bitch has been cloned. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that was part of it. So she was trying to get it out through the majesty of song to get
Get her message out there.
Yeah.
An interpretive dance.
An interpretive dance, yeah. So you guys are giving that a no?
Nah, I'm not into
That's a
that.
no. North Korea used to be the home of unicorns.
That's a hard yes.
I love that. I love that you're like, Britney Spears is not a clone, but maybe unicorns. Maybe unicorns.
Greg believes in the North Koreanicorns.
Unicorns.
Okay, and then that one was the Ultimate Warrior. Was there a switcheroo?
No, I don't think there was.
Okay.
No, it's just him. He just looks different.
No.
Yeah, and I think that was a definite yes. He looks way too different.
Nah,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
And that's why he never talked. But I guess he did talk.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Warriors.
Episode 8, The Phantom Time Hypothesis. That is the one
name.
where, yeah, it's a great name. That's the one where it's like, are we actually living in like 1710 and we lost like a couple hundred years? And that's why we were all churning butter this morning. And yeah.
You guys saw that?
Yeah.
That was beneath my covers.
I was stringing my harpsichord. Okay.
I was feeding the geese.
Yeah. Wow.
Who wants some fresh butterfly pancakes?
No, thank you. Okay, so that's a hard guess from these two.
It's a hard yes.
And is Ogopogo with little Charlie and his little
Fuck yes.
lederhosen? Is that a real
I'm gonna
thing?
go with a maybe.
Hell yes, and I'll fight you otherwise.
Okay, no, man, I'm a hard no on that one. I love the image of you running around in your lederhosen, but
we should recreate that image.
that is a great idea. I just feel like the yeah, okay. The Ides of March.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So Caesar there was a conspiracy to murder him. That's a fact. But the way that the play lays it out, it's like, oh, he knew, a fortune teller bloody told him in advance, and he knew. So
Can I tell you my hot take on this? This one too boring. Come on, Caesar.
I know, right? And he's he's like the most powerful person
Get your shit.
in his sphere of influence. It makes sense. It'd be like something bad's gonna happen.
Get your life.
Yeah, with that much power, you think you could come up with a better salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. In his one public appearance. Yeah.
But also,
we
like,
are recording, right?
Yo, the whole
yeah.
time.
Oh, again.
Phew. Episode 9. Was Sigmund Freud like an unofficial spokesman for cocaine hired by Coca-Cola so that doctors were like, hey, you're pregnant? Here's a big bag of cocaine.
Yep.
Why don't you snort some Charlie?
Yep.
I don't think they really had to twist his arm too much because
No.
I'm pretty sure he was nose
Hey,
deep.
hey, Siggy.
Oh, man.
Hey, Siggy, we'll pay you in this
Siggy.
giant barrel of cocaine. Sure. Yes.
Oh, that's such a great image. Also, Avril Lavigne, was she a clone?
No.
Heck no.
Okay.
You got to stop with these clone ones, man.
Oh, man.
That's
It's, hey,
going into season 2.
I don't choose the theories.
No,
the theories.
No. Wasn't Avril Lavigne the doppelganger?
Oh,
She was
Not a
clone.
It was somebody that looked like her.
She was replaced by like a
lookalike.
doppelganger or a lookalike,
yeah.
and but
She
she had
wasn't
died,
cloned, though.
a looky
and that's when she's
loo.
like, I'm gonna marry Chad Kruger and I'm gonna sing the songs about the Hello Kitty.
But Avril Lavigne was not a clone. She was just a doppelganger.
It's hard to say. Okay, and then the Superman mustache cover
Yeah.
up. So in Justice League,
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
It's some silly ass shit.
it's a real thing.
and they tried to pull that off. They're like, oh no, he filmed. That's his handsome face. There was no mustache.
Handsome Cahill.
Yeah, and he is a handsome man. Yeah, I'd give him a.
And he's got a type.
71 out of
Mustachio.
5. Yeah.
Mustachio.
He's got a mustache.
I bet you let him use your microphone.
Use a mustache.
Yes, sir. Episode 10. Are the Men in Black real?
Possible.
Okay.
Plausible.
Plausible.
Okay. Does Charlie bite it but not light it?
Oh, that's the worst.
I know. You don't like that
That
part.
is the worst line. Just smoke the cigar, man.
If you're listening, Will.
Yeah, he just bites it. It's for the
He
look.
don't
He
light
doesn't
it.
even light it. What a waste.
Well, it's bad for your lungs, man. He's a handsome man, too. You don't stay that handsome smoking cigars every day.
You don't smoke a cigar every day then.
Yeah.
But you don't
Special
ruin a good
occasions.
cigar. Just
don't
bite
ruin it.
You should give it to somebody else.
Just for the look. You got enough other stuff going for you, bud. You
So-
don't need to ruin these cigars.
No, that's true. And
Fresh
sorry,
prints.
we were getting out of the yes, no, maybe format. Okay, the Titanic didn't sink, was actually replaced by the Olympic or the Olympia.
Plausible.
Plausible?
Possible.
Possible? I'm giving that a maybe. Yes, because there's some weird stuff there.
It's possible.
Was Mr. Rogers a Vietnam sniper covered in tattoos who killed people and fingered the camera?
Hard no.
Hard no.
Hard no.
Hard no. Why? I don't know why you've got such a hard yes for that.
Funny. I'm not a hard
You
yes.
want this to be
No, I
true
don't. I just
so
think it's
badly.
hilarious that he's like, I'm going to put on my murder cardigan. I'm going to put on my murder shoes. These are my murdering fingers.
Won't you be my victim?
I'm going to be real nice to you. But I just... Oh, yeah. Episode 11. Did the Americans go to the moon?
Oh,
Oh, but that's
Or was there shenanigans involved?
yes, but there's shenanigans.
there was shenanigans. Shenanigans.
So the theory is Australia isn't real. So Australia, do you think, Charlie?
False.
Okay.
False.
Yeah. That's
As
a
book.
hard no.
It's a hard no.
No.
And then the Philadelphia experiment.
As much as I want to believe that one, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it's a hard
I
no.
love the story.
I think it's a no too. I think it's the convoluted story where they're like,
The story spreads
There's a little
right over the bagel like
miscommunication.
cream cheese.
yeah. Okay, now I hope you guys noted down which ones you're like, most plaus,
Oh, I've been taking all the notes.
most ridic. Okay, now Charlie, for the beers we drank, would you like to run us through?
Sure, I'll run you through.
And by beers, we're using the umbrella term
the
here.
drinks
of-
that we drank for what am we drinking?
yeah.
Let's
ales and lagers and
what are we
sauces and custards and
drinking
pies.
wrap up. We did not drink custards and pies.
No. And lollies and stickers and cinnamon
You
sticks.
had to find that. You have it written down.
Yes, I do.
Oh, can I see it?
Sure.
I can tell you what we drank on some of the specials.
Okay.
On the specials, let's see, for St. Patrick's Day, we're starting off with a non-beer. That was one of the few non-beers. St. Patrick's Day, we had Writer's Tears. It was delicious.
That was
It was.
delicious.
Valentine's Day, we drank Open Road American Brown Ale from the Trouble Monk Brewery. There was way back in the Wayback Machine to the extra special, we had Jerkface 9000.
That was a good one.
I like that one.
Yeah.
For the old Easter Beaster, we had my fave, the Far Away Hefeweizen. Ooh, the Heffy.
Far and away.
For Mother's Day, we had from Apex Predator Brewing, we had the Red Ale. It was
pretty good.
It was delightful.
Yeah, that had a great can too. The bear.
Great can.
Yeah.
And for Father's Day, we had a 10-wheeler IPA from Siding 14. That's our specials. What do we got over here?
There we go.
See, for episode 7, we were drinking Grandpa Jim's Pecan Pie Porter from Outcast Brewing.
You had too much Grandpa
You
Jim's.
had too much Grandpa Jim's. Episode 8 brought us the High Harvest from Wild Rose Brewery in Okanagan and Okanagan Apple Cider. That was a twofer. We had a twofer on that
twofer
one. It
on
was
that.
delightful.
We couldn't decide which one we wanted.
Episode 9 brought us to the Overlander Pale Ale from Folding Mountain Brewing. Episode 10, the delightful La Fin du Monde from Unibrew, our only beer from Quebec. And thanks again, Tim. That was a delight.
That was very nice of your dad.
Cheers
Yeah.
to him one
Yeah.
more time.
Well, he's
on.
a big fan, so
And that brings us down to episode 11, Big Shoots Lager from Freehold Brewing Company, as Andrew ferociously takes notes. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Those were the things we drank in the second half of. Was this just for the second half?
That was since February.
February.
All right, February. Okay, and then for our Mandela
Minute.
Sugar dunk.
Sugar dunk.
Sugar dunk.
oh, where are they?
They are.
Here we go. Sorry.
So we started with. I can start you off if you want, or if you remember the three. There's three on that list that I didn't include.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
What do you got there?
List them
Okay,
off.
so
What?
number one was the is it Berenstain or a Ben Stain?
Neat. Big old stain.
Yeah, so is that a stain on your sheets or a stain on your pants?
From the butter I was turning.
Oh gosh.
Okay, and then the second one was did Captain Picard, so sorry, honorifics.
Captain Picard.
Did Captain Picard have a crystal that he liked to toss to and fro when he was feeling pensive?
So
Neat.
Picard's crystal.
A giant crystal.
Make it so.
Yeah, that he would just play with when he was trying to make a decision.
Yeah, if you hit that little switch, the crystal goes. Bzzz. That was weird.
I don't even want to get into it, but that is messed up.
But anyway,
Yeah. And then this one here.
we're doing Queen. Did Queen say of the world
Neat.
at the end of We Are the Champions, which was they did not.
No.
So.
They sure did.
Know of the world.
And then we were getting into episode 7. Was Eli Whitney, the inventor of the cotton gin, white or African of descent?
Neat.
We have episode 8. Is it Kit Kat or is it Kit Kat?
Neat.
Kit-cat.
And I think you guys remembered the part.
I remember hyphen.
I remember hyphen.
You're a hyphen?
Kit ampersand cat.
I don't know.
Kitty cat.
You know, ampersand means and.
I know. I just ampersand.
Just double checking. You're a teacher after all.
I know.
Episode 9, we had Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Who's the fairest of them all? And then
Yeah.
the real one is Magic Mirror on the Wall.
Yeah, you are the freaky bitch. Yeah, that's right.
Neat. Thanks, baby. Episode 10, we had Was Sinbad in a movie called Shazam?
Yes, he
Hell
was.
yes.
Neat.
I don't remember because it was before my time.
Wow.
Also, how many people were in JF's car when he was in the murder mobile?
JFK.
The murder
You actually wrote murder mobile.
in the murder mobile, in the JFK murder mobile.
how many
they,
people were in JFK's car when he was assassinated?
That's right.
Neat.
And where they are eating from a party platter.
They foot the pool.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Okay. So I hope you guys made real tot notes.
I got to tally up some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Let me write down everything ferociously. Charlie is drawing a stick man with a big dick. Got him.
Yeah, I've got the results.
I'm ready. We're ready. We're ready.
Okay. I've got a wee ukulele. Woo.
Tiny guitar.
We're yuking out, huh?
So I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And you can join us. So we've had this ukulele, or the opinion time song, and we've had a couple friends do it for us, and we'll talk more about that in a second here. But I thought it'd be funny to sing. You know, we like
do
to
live.
sing. Let's just do it live. We'll sing the opinion time
Live and
song.
unplugged.
Opinion time, opinion time. Hey everybody, it's opinion time. Opinion time, opinion time. Hey motherfucker, it's opinion time. Now, if you would like to submit an opinion time, a recording of the opinion time song, then please send us an MP3 at it'saconspiracy@protonmail.com, or just go to our website. You can get through it. You can get it to us through Twitter or Facebook group or whatever.
You know what I want to hear? I want to hear somebody submit a version of Opinion Time where they're banging on pots and pans.
Oh,
Kitchen, just like bang, 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 bang. Just no musical talent.
Just go straight at him.
Just fucking giving it. That's what I would love to hear.
just a spastic.
Got to get those submissions.
I would like to hear someone like Wesley Willis do our opinion.
Oh God.
Man.
You know, like an old Casio.
Oh, yeah.
Opinion time. Batman came down, whooped my ass.
So we have got we ran through the list in February of the people that did it from like the first half of the season. So since episode 7, sorry, since episode 7, we have had episode 7, the delightful, charming Charlie Scream. And then episode number 8 was the duo of Sarah Mulvey and Brian Cullen.
You betcha.
Episode number 9 was the hilarious accordion version by Angie Maximetz,
You betcha.
which is one of my favorites. Episode 10, super friend and Patreon supporter of the show, which is unbelievably appreciated. That's
One of our best friends.
Yeah, oh, so good. And just all around awesome guy, and a good friend of mine, Steve Burse.
You betcha.
So thanks, Steve. Just
I think he's also
Yeah.
known as Big Steve.
Big Steve.
Yeah.
Big
Thanks,
Burse.
Steve.
Yeah, he's great. And episode 11 was Aideen O'Toole and her magical melodica.
You betcha.
Magical.
So magical.
I mean, is there any other way to describe a melodica, though?
No, there really isn't.
Sounds like it's
Magical
great.
is the only word you can use. Yeah. The only word.
Is
Only word.
Is that the
Shut
one where, like, where you blow into it and then you play like a piano?
Yeah.
Yeah, you blow it. It's a mouthpiece and a little pipe, and then it's got a yeah. Okay, now Charlie and Greg.
Yes,
Now we're gonna do this on like basically like whatever theory gets the most votes. So hopefully we all pick the same ones or versions of the same ones. Okay, so we're gonna give the Conspeez for most applause.
We're doing most applause.
Yeah, most applause. So the Conspeez for most applause. Charlie, what would you pick?
I
there?
would say I got two. I guess a split vote over here.
Which one? Damn it!
Split between the Cocaine Cola and Old Siggy and the moon landing Faker Daker.
Okay,
Yeah. Both of those super applause.
sounds good. Okay, Greg.
I'm gonna have to go with the Fukushima cover-up.
Okay.
It
And
just,
then
it
you
just
just
seems
picked
to
one?
I
You just got one.
You just decided to pick one and play
That's
by
how
the
you
rules. And be a
follow the
friend.
rules,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Actually, that
I don't always play by the rules, but when I do,
this is where
I pick Fukushima cover-up.
And drink bullet bourbon.
Drink bullet bourbon.
this is good. This little system is working because I as well picked for most applause. The Conspeez for most applause goes to the Fukushima cover-up.
Fukushima.
We are, you heard it here. That was a conspiracy. Now let's start with Greg here. So Greg, what is the most ridic of the season?
I'm gonna have to go with Revenge of the Clones.
The Revenge of the so the cloning
The cloning thing is just garbage.
in general, like that's including.
Yeah.
Okay. For most ridic, I picked Flat Earth, hands down. That is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. So Flat Earth theory is by far the most ridiculous, and there's some real ridiculous stuff in here. That is just.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you, sort of.
Okay.
But I had to pick Clone Fiasco.
Yeah.
All of them looped together, like all lumped together.
Did this happen again? We did. Okay, wait. Okay, you said clone for most ridiculous, right?
Yeah, you said clone for most ridiculous.
This is amazing. Okay, so then the Conspeez for most ridiculous goes to
The clones.
The clones.
Send
Okay.
in the clones.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
But I feel like the amount of ridiculousness was the clones. Like that's a group of that's a whole number of
and that's,
ridiculous.
That's lumping a few together, but I think you're right. In my opinion, I'm like because
Now, to
Flat
be
Earth
fair,
includes Australia, and their Australia isn't real, and that as well
that's
is
true.
just
That is an
so.
extension.
But no, ridic. We've already given out the award. Can't no take
clones?
back.
No, there's no
clones.
Yeah.
No take back. I just want to clarify by saying
No clarify.
I agree that cloning has happened, but not of all these famous people.
No.
Yeah. Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. Yeah, and I'll start with the Mandela minutes here.
Sure.
So my
Favorite
my
Mandela
favorite.
minute.
That's right, and not the most plausible because all of them are like a little nutty.
Every
Yeah.
single one is 50-50.
But hands down, the one that I'm like that absolutely did not happen, and I ran it. It's the timing of it. You talked about it. And then I was at our headquarter pub.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, I was like, well, the Mandela Minute's this thing where blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, and I'm a Star Trek fan. And he's like, he knew about the crystal. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember that when I was a kid. And I was like, you do not.
Fucking liar.
You lying piece of shit. Stop lying. Stop lying. And I couldn't believe it that he was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And because got his weak crystal, he just throws back and forth. I'm like, no, that didn't
Whatever,
happen.
man.
Yeah. So that one blows my mind. A lot of these do, but straight
That's your
up.
favorite?
Well, that's the one that I'm like, that did not
Oh,
happen.
I see.
And I think about it all the time. I'm like, that, but I've seen the videos of it happening.
But you know what? Yeah, no, we've actually, in the House of Scream here, we've been rewatching the TNG, as it were. And
there it is.
I've seen them on
Yeah.
his desk.
Yeah.
I've not seen him fondle them yet, but
he does.
They're
He
on
does.
Yeah, he fondles that thing.
there. Fondles those
Whenever he's
crystals.
feeling, and Riker fondles it at one point too. I mean, that doesn't. It's kind of like what didn't Riker fondle,
That's
but there's
right.
the
Yeah,
one where
come on,
Riker's like, okay, I got to make a decision here. Let me get my.
And maybe it was just like a magic 8-ball. Maybe like shake it and be like, magic crystal, should we attack the Borg? All signs point to yes.
Suddenly, Riker again sounds like. All right, I guess you're doing your Patrick Stewart there. Never mind. Okay, I was like, they all sound like Bane.
I thought that was Winnie the
you have
Pooh.
my permission to die.
Anyway,
Okay, so Charlie, what was your favorite Mandela minute?
My favorite one, Sinbad, easily. That was Sinbad. That happened.
That's all. You
It
remember the
exists.
poster? We talked
For
about
sure
it. It's
exists.
wild. And
Yeah.
when I think it was me describing it, and you're like, yeah, he had yellow
He
pants
had,
on,
like
and
yellow pants
it's-
with the thing, the pattern on it.
Oh, yeah.
We had him on the things he's
I
called.
do
we
remember
used to call it
saying like,
VHS.
yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
do know what a VHS is. Okay, I've recorded videos and stuff. Anyway,
Not for
the
you.
one that hit home most for me was the Bernstein Bears, but it was not my favorite. It was got to be Picard's Crystal.
Oh,
Crystals.
this system worked again. That's amazing.
Damn
Okay,
it.
So,
You nailed it when you said just pick your favorite.
Crystals have it.
okay,
Yeah.
that's weird. But you're saying Picard's crystal.
Picard's Crystal.
Okay,
Crystals have it.
that's amazing. Crystals have it for the Conspeez for favorite Mandela minute goes to the Captain Picard's crystals.
Make it so.
I really just wanted to hear you say that.
That is that's incredible. Okay, now I guess Charlie, what was your favorite beer.
My favorite beer?
And this is including the specials.
Including the specials, which is good because that's where it lays.
Mine also is in the specials, yeah.
Far Away Hefeweizen.
The Hefeweizen.
That was a home run for
Oh,
me.
man, absolutely. Greg, what was your...
I'm going back to the beginning of the series, or like right at the beginning there,
Let's
before
hop
we get
back
to
in
the
the
second
Wayback
half.
Machine, Mr. Peabody.
Still gonna have to go with the High Bomber.
You still
You're
have
picking the one
bombing.
from the first half of the season.
First half of the season.
Okay. What would be... If you
But
had,
if I had to pick from like the newer half of the season, I would have to go with Le Fin du Monde.
Le Fin du Monde.
And it's
Yep.
not just playing favorites because of my dad. It's like that was a really good beer. It's one
Yeah.
of my favorites.
I have bought Le Fin du Monde a bunch of times. It's great. A lot of these beers that we had, I saw them in the store like the one time. I've never seen them since.
Yeah.
Because the government listens to our podcast.
And that's right. And we
they
control things.
redact that shit.
That's right. If
Anyway.
you're listening, and we know you are.
Yeah.
My favorite was, you're going to have to remind me here, Charlie. My favorite was going to be Le Fin du Monde, but I have a tie,
have a
actually.
tie.
So my tie was, what was the brown ale?
Trouble Monk Brewery, Open Road American Brown Ale.
Yeah, man, I loved that.
Oh.
It was so good. It reminded me of what's it called? Newcastle?
Okay.
Or is it Newcastle?
I don't know.
These are your feelings.
Yeah, these are your
Yeah, these are my feelings. I shouldn't.
You
I
shouldn't be
need
asking
to
me
be-
how you feel
eat your
about
I should be
feelings.
sharing my feelings, not
Don't-
asking for my feelings.
Yeah.
Andrew, don't eat your feelings.
Okay, sorry for eating my feelings, but I So I think it is. It just beautiful. It was tied closely with Le Fin du Monde. I couldn't pick a winner between the two.
du Monde.
Le Fin du Monde. The thing about it is, it's a great one-off beer because it's got enough.
That is fucking huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And that was the weird thing. We drank them in like little cans. Usually it's a big bottle.
Yeah.
And Le Fin du Monde, I love getting like one of those giant bottles and like watching a movie or something like that. And it's like you have like two beers, maybe
Sneaking
like two
into the
glasses.
dollar
Or you,
theater.
you sit down with a friend, share.
Yeah,
Like
it's
two
fun.
people could finish that and be like, yeah, there's a little buzz going on.
Yeah, and it's good though is the thing, you know, and it's great. So I guess in that case, in the tie, if it lines up with yours,
Yeah,
Ooh,
yes,
if
Le
you're
Fin du
going
Monde.
the Fin du Monde.
yep.
Fin du Monde has it.
So the Conspeez for favorite beer goes to Le Fin du Monde. Well, there we go. That was really fun. And yeah, that was our favorite beer. Now,
Well, there we go.
I'm gonna just oh boy, all that chit chat has made me hungry. And Greg, I can't. I was just talking to Charlie and I forgot Charlie was smell deaf.
Yeah, he
or
just-
smell blind.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Get it right.
Yeah, and I don't mean to
Belittling my-
able shame you or whatever it is, but I'm not surprised that he couldn't smell this. But I'm amazed you didn't notice. So, anyways, we were talking about Halifax, we were talking about Nova Scotia, and we were talking about donaires. And so I have a little snack time. I have some donaires. Yay! I know, it's so great. So the good people at Blowers in Grafton here in Edmonton on White Ave, they sent us a whole bunch of donaires, and I can't wait. They are amazing. Go see them. They have live music on the weekends. They're great.
Sometimes it's even you.
Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's me. That's true. Sometimes it's people who are entertaining. Yeah.
Buy that for $1.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and we'll get these donaires, we'll crack them
we got
open,
these bags here.
and then we'll read the outro credits with
donaire in our mouth.
With donaire in our mouth. Yeah, that's fine, right? You're supposed to do podcasts while you're eating.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's one of the rules. One of the 5 commandments of podcasts is that you eat while you're doing
Thou
it.
shalt. This is gonna be a good time.
I am so glad. There's nothing weird in there. There's no icing. There's no
This is a straight up donaire.
It's just a straight up donaire. Nothing weird. I just wanted to be like, hey, we're gonna have something cool.
Well, that's good.
For any of our friends who have never had a donaire before, I've said this before, but like, you just gotta go out right now and go get.
You gotta
yourself
live your
one.
life a little
Yeah,
bit better.
That's right. Now, Greg, there's the sweet sauce and the garlic sauce, for example. You want to walk us through what those two are, for what is entailed in that?
So like the tangy sauce or like kind of like the sour sauce or whatever is going to be more like a tzatziki.
tang.
It's going to be more like that kind of like sour cream,
Big tang.
wherever. Whereas the sweet sauce is going to be more like that condensed milk mixed with like a lot of like garlic powder, onion powder. A little
That's
bit
your
of salt,
favorite, isn't it,
pepper.
Andrew?
Yeah. So it's perfect for people who are lactose intolerant.
Oh, good. I have a sweet sauce in mine too. So here's to the squirts. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, mama.
It's party time.
We're going to the money. This is the real treasure of Oak Island
This is
right
the money
here.
pit right here.
That's what's down there. Oh,
You
man.
open it up and it's just a box full of donaire meat.
Now, speaking of donaire meat, usually it's this is beef. What are there other types? Other meats?
Donarians.
There's the odd like chicken donair.
Okay.
And then like when you start getting into other meats that are like more known for like kebabs. Or like your heroes or gyros or whatever you want to call them.
Gyros.
Gyros.
I've heard that you can have goat on a donair.
Goat donair.
And then it's not too bad.
That's not even a sound goat makes.
It's not, yeah.
You know what sound goat makes? He screams. They scream at you.
Do goats actually scream?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Man, that is the tang.
This is a damn good donair.
Yeah, this sure is.
A delight.
They've clearly like cooked up the pita a little bit. Got a little bit of seasoning on there. Oh, man.
They're not messing around. They know what they're
They're
doing.
not messing around. This is good. Oh, all right. Well,
This is almost like one bite, everybody knows the rules.
Yep.
yeah. Have you read the outro credits before?
Yeah.
You have?
On his birthday.
You had to read the intro credits on your birthday, but Charlie got to read them last time. Here, go ahead.
Should I do it with a,
Yeah.
Should I do it with a mouthful of donair?
Oh, that's fine.
Well, golly gee, galoshes.
I like to point out that was written in there.
Well, golly gee, galoshes. Wasn't that a super time? You can listen to all of our episodes on itsaconsspiracypodcast.com. Plus, you can find links to our email, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, merchandise, including Charlie's own Old Man Design, and our Patreon page, patreon.com/itsaconsspiracy. That's right. Head on over to itsaconsspiracypodcast.com and we'll get you sorted.
We'll get you sorted. That's my catchphrase.
We will be back with our extra Southern Alberta special this month, and then we'll have a few specials over the summer for you, including an interview with Paul Franklin, a backmasking special, and our Cinemaspiracy episode. Season 2 will rear its yellow horrific teeth on September 1st, but as said, we promise to keep you entertained over the summer, so please don't forget us while we're gone. Our hearts would break. We have loved you for so long, and it's all we can take.
Oh,
Yeah.
a little glass tiger just to seal the deal. You had me at hello. You had me at golly gee galoshes.
Righty then. Thank you so very much for stopping by, and please feel free to subscribe, rate, review, share, tell a friend, tell a stranger, tell an enemy, tell your mom, tell your mom's friends. Her enemies, crush them all, enjoy the lamentations of their loved ones, and see them driven before you in defeat.
That's what is good.
All right, everybody, take care.
Bye.